As you can see, I pretty much have the shifter handle about done. Thought I would mention too, I did take videos of each procedure on the machining process of the handle. They were accidentally formatted on the camcorder prior to uploading them. So I don't know what happened there, but needless to say, their history. So what I'll do is I'll briefly go over how I perform them operations. Pretty much the same way as I do all my operations. I did the center drill, the spotting operation, whatever you want to call it. Drilled the holes. The center hole, this hole here for the shifter is 089 for 440 thread. This hole here is a 125 for 440 thread. This hole here is a 0.92 for 256. On the back side here, it's kind of hard to see here. I got this put together. This is a 092 thread as well, or hole. I did just a standard. Here's what the material looks like after I cut it out. I just did a standard contour with a outside offset with a finish allowance of 0.04365. I did it with a 3/16 end mill. That's why I had to go with such a big finish allowance. From here on out, the next ones I'll make, I ordered a bunch of end mills, so I'll be doing them with probably 1/8 inch end mill. That should work out quite well. A lot easier on the tooling. All around should work a lot better actually. What I did, this is a piece of material that was placed below it. Obviously that sit on there like that. Same as I did in my other operations. Drilled the holes, ran the screws through the brackets, bolted the piece to the bottom piece, so that way when I machine that part out, it didn't wobble around on the table or anything. It was very secure. Didn't have hardly any chatter to speak of. All in all, it came out fairly well. I did do quite a bit of hand work to it as far as these the grips, and that is because of my finish allowance with that 3/16 end mill. The next one I'll do, I'll probably go, I ordered a bunch of miniature end mills as well. With this radius at 1/8 inch would probably be just about perfect with this design. Obviously this is my own design, so I'm making it a little bit different than the real ones. I had planned on going with a 1/4 inch wide for the shifter. Since changed my mind, I went with 3/8. A few reasons why. And here is I took excuse me. I took a 1/4 inch, or I took a miniature file, located center on that, and filed it to a 1/8 inch wide, a gap in between. I still got a little bit of hand filing to do to get that perfect yet, but it's close. There'll be a handle that comes up here. It'll have 2 grips on top part of it, like these here. It will be a little bit taller than the top. It will be operational as far as tilting back and forth. On the real ones, that's what that engages and disengages your shift pattern. In most cases, they are located on the side here, and different grooves that they fall down into. In my case, it won't be quite that extravagant. It will just actually move back and forth. That's not necessary for a quarter scale car. Not for what I'm doing, at least for the Beretta. And I will get them videos, get that all on video, and I'll make sure they don't get formatted prior to uploading them to the computer this time around. I'll be making that handle. On the back side here, there'll be a piece that wraps around each corner, probably a quarter of an inch from center out to this direction, all the way on both sides. Around the back it will be one solid piece. I'll machine out the center of it. I haven't mic'd this yet exactly what the width of this is. My guess is probably right around a ½ inch. I got the caliper handy here. I suppose I could do that right now. Yeah, we'll see what that is. I guess it's probably right around a half, maybe 3/4 even. Yeah, it's 707. So I'll go with 3/4 inch material. Yeah, I got plenty of that as well. Machine out the center of it. The only purpose of that bracket is to support the cable. The cable routes from the back and will mount through there'll be a hole through that. That will mount to that. It will be relatively thin. Probably I'll machine it to anywhere between 60 upwards to 90 thousandths. It don't need to be real thick. If it's too thick, it won't look realistic. Same applies at the bottom here. There'll be a bracket. Comes off the bottom here. Say for example, this is your drive shaft tunnel. It elevates your shifter above the drive shaft tunnel. It could be cocked-eyed if or set on it straight. In my case, I'll probably just set it straight. You do see in a lot of real cars, the driver will cock their shifter sideways. Makes it a little easier for the driver to maneuver. I may go a little overboard even, because I do want to make this look as realistic as possible when it's done. And for me, it's all in the detail. I'm going to make a little bracket, possibility make a little bracket that will mount off the side of the top of the handle here. Drill a small hole in that. It'll be really small, probably an 089. Snap a red LED in it. Run the wire down into the housing somehow, outside of it or inside of it. It will simulate a nitrous oxide switch. A lot of real drag cars, a lot of guys have their NOS switches mounted right there on the side. Sometimes you'll even see a trans brake mounted there. Yeah, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. And as I mentioned, I just temporarily have these screws in here. I'm going to run 1/4 inch tube in between here. What I'll do is I'll just cut the tube. I'll drill the tube first actually. Drill the center of it, tap the whole tube all the way through. 440. That's what these are. And drill, or rather and tap it. And I've ordered some 440 button head screws. I don't want these big bulky 440s sticking out. They kind of look ridiculous. So I'll put some button head screws in there, and that should make it look more realistic. Same here. I can put a button head there. And if I really wanted to, I could pop rivet this together too. And but I don't want to go that route. I want to be able to take it apart. And what I'll do is the button head screws. I ordered the majority of all my material. A lot of it, I should say, to the standard length, 1.5 inch, 1.25 inch, and whatnot. And then I just cut it to size. Like for this here, you don't want your screws to be, you want them to come up just under the center. So that way when you place that part in there, your screws don't run into each other with inside that. So I'll just cut the screw to the length that I need. Knock down the burrs on the ends of it, and it should be good to go there. For the bottom side of it here, where the shifter cable will join up, I just did the same thing with the file. Took the file, opened it up a little bit. There'll be a 256 set screw that will run through there with an eyelet that will run off the eyelet off the cable off of that. So that should be plenty of room for it being in line in this direction too. That is a bit of a concern as to where it comes in there. I mean, I know this is not real, so cross that bridge when I get to it there. But this will be elevated too, so that'll help out too. The opening for the cable will be like right in the center here. But with the eyelet on it, it'll allow it to rotate alright, so I should be alright there. All in all, it came out fairly well for the first one. For the next ones I am going to change up a few things on it. This is like my own design. It is actually my own design. I just got the ideas of other pictures and whatnot and drew it up. Decided to go with the little finer grips here rather than the big bulky ones like you see on the real cars. It's big enough to stick 2 fingers in rather than one. Kind of make it unique in a way. The other handle that will be coming up here, it's going to look pretty weld. It should. It'll come up on an angle here and on another angle here, and have another angle at the top. 2 grooves on the top of that. They'll be identical to these here. There'll be only 2 of them. What I'll probably do, and I'm not sure yet, I'll probably polish that little handle so it will look like chrome. Possibility polish the case so it will look like chrome. And I'll keep the handle as it is now. I did wet sand all of this. I didn't spend a lot of time on it. Once I get all my parts done for the Beretta, then I'll start going back through and fine-tuning everything and getting everything. It's looking perfect. I wet sanded this with 3M P600 wet sandpaper. There's still a few corners if you look close at it. It's not quite perfect, and you can see a little bit of scratches here and there on it. And a lot of that was due to the end mill I was using. With the other end mills that I'm going to, once I get them, start making a couple other shifters. Like I mentioned, I do have a few other designs I'm going to make. This is just one of the designs I want to go with for the Beretta. I want to make this unique and a little bit different. not saying once I get this completely done that I won't duplicate this. Possibility to sell a few of them. If there's anybody out there that would like one for the car in time, don't hesitate to get a hold of me. I'm sure I could work something out with you and machine you one up relatively cheap. It is easy program to do. CNC is very easy. It's all in the tooling and the setup. I've ordered quite a few end mill holders as well too, so that's going to help as far as my tool changing goes. Do a lot of dry runs because of the tool changing as far as my tool heights, offsets, and whatnot. Once I get them end mill holders with the new end mills, they'll stay in place, and I won't have to go and alter my tool table. Excuse me. Per operation, and that should make things much more convenient. Other than that, I was pretty much done for this video anyhow, and I will get started on this handle here next. Make that piece of the back that I mentioned and the piece that goes along the bottom to raise it up. Thanks for watching.